Hey team, how y'all doing today? So I just kind of want to run you through some of the analytics suite reporting right here and just kind of show you like some of the main benefits, what you can actually do with these reports so that you can actually, spot anomalies, save money, scale your ads, right? So like first thing is just like ad level. Really, you just want to select an attribution. Most people select last click, put in a date range, so like last 30 days as an example. Click on advanced options, and then what we can also kind of do is we don't need to really do anything here, but like optimize reports, that right there is just going to include only active ads within inside the selected time frame, excludes leads without sales. So honestly, I really don't know why that HYROS puts that there, but you can select that. That's fine. Days range for discard attribution. So basically, like if I set it to 7 days right there, if someone like clicks onto a Facebook ad but like doesn't opt in or anything like that, HYROS hasn't tracked them yet, and then 6 days later they then opt in. Okay, HYROS would track that they came from a Facebook ad and then 6 days later opted in. But like if they come from a Facebook ad and then they opt in like 8 days later, all right, HYROS would disregard the attribution of that paid source. Okay, so that's basically what that kind of means. I would recommend that you guys do like none. Okay, and then this is just for product categories, filtering products. Okay, cool. So like let's just generate this. So right off the bat, when you see your ad level reporting, you can probably put it to large or medium, middle or small, whatever you want, and most likely it's going to show you, yeah, like the top ads right off the bat. Okay, so immediately what you want to kind of do with these is you want to like add budget, especially if the ROI is like that. You want to add budget to these right away, and if the ROI is bad like that, then you probably might consider taking away budget from that a little bit and adding it or spreading it across the ones that are actually making you money. Okay, and then at the same time you can duplicate some of these. Okay, so you can like look at the ads or the ad sets of these, and then you can duplicate those ad sets, and then you can optimize off of HYROS data. So like in settings and then integrations, what we have is configure meta conversions, and we're sending data to the IMM new pixel, and we're sending it as a purchase event. Okay, so like if you're already optimizing off of that, that's great, but like maybe you could duplicate an ad and then optimize it off of like call or lead or something like that, right? So that right there is just something to consider, to think about. And then you can see like which one performs better over time. You can kind of split test like different conversions, okay, purchase or lead, etc. Okay, so then if we go over to trends, this really, guys, honestly, like the HYROS engineering team, like try to make something that is actually like, in my opinion, it doesn't really do too much. I mean, because like there's not much like pattern recognition with this, in my opinion. You might find it different, but like kind of like the same thing. We can prioritize paid sources, so that means that HYROS is prioritizing paid sources with last click attribution. Okay, we can look at like 90 days. You really don't want to look at 30 days because that really doesn't tell you much. But like 90 days, I would say, is the minimum to see like a trend in what's happening to your ads. So you can kind of generate this, and then when you generate it, you're going to see like last 7 days, last 15 days, last 30, okay? And then we can see like the revenue over a certain period of time. So it kind of looks like over time, your customers are spending more money with you, okay? Something's happening right there, okay? So, yeah, mostly like keep doing what you're doing, honestly, is kind of like what this is showing you, okay? But like, this is just the last 90 days, right? So, I mean, everything kind of looks like it's positive right here. But if like it was like 15 you know, 100 right there, then 3,000, then 5,000, then 7,000, then all of a sudden it went back down to like 4,000. That right there is what that's for. It's a trend. It's something that you can recognize a pattern, right? So like, oh shit, what happened right there in that the last 75 days or something like this, right? You can kind of recognize that information. That's what that's for. But based off of just what I'm seeing right here, I mean, this looks good. Okay, so like, yeah, this looks good. So then we move on to Geo, and Geo is pretty good. I mean, for paid sources, I would recommend first click, attribution, and then prioritize paid sources. Okay, you don't really need to include sales without a source here. You just kind of want to use Geo sales for the purpose of optimizing your ads and or even your organic, so you can generate this report you know, with only organic as well. Okay, so you prioritize that, and then you put in a date range, and then like, let's just look at the last 30 days. Boom, boom. Okay, cool. So in the United States, definitely the killer. Okay, so then I can, like, you know, from the United States, I can go to like region, and then I can see all of the best states that are producing the most amounts of sales and revenue, and then I can even look at the cities as well. Okay, so that's what basically, in a nutshell, this just gives you information from a reliable tracking standpoint and point of view of like you know, the locations based off of the IP address. Okay, so that's that, guys. Okay, next I'll talk about lead journey reporting. And just lead journey reporting, I mean, you can base it off of first click, you can base it off of sales or revenue or calls. Okay, I would like, I mean, if you guys want to you know, optimize your ads, you can probably select revenue. Okay, and then you can just put filter product, you can just leave all of that, put a date range in. I'll just do 30 days. If you want to specify attributes, you can here. Okay, you can do it by like category or source or traffic source, etc. Advanced options, all sources or only paid sources. Okay, ignore recurring revenue if you have that sort of thing. Okay, and then this right here is just like trying to give you like a sense of what typically happens. So like with the customer journey. So instead of like instead of only paid, we can do like all sources, and then based off of that, yeah. So it kind of looks like a lot of the time we have like, yeah, actually quite frequently we have a first click of like general, which is just a category, a source category for organic. Okay, so people are getting in the door, and then they're going, yeah, so like YouTube organic, and then they're researching you with like, they're searching for you on Google, and then they purchase. Okay, so that's right there, like kind of what is happening. So that's just kind of like how you can visualize what attribution is best for paid advertising. Okay, so we have like general purchase, so that's just like totally organic, right? But then we have like meta, and then they purchase, and then we have general, and then meta, and then they purchase. So that's like, we got organic as first click, paid advertising as last click. Okay, so maybe you ought to consider like using last click for your attribution. This is the type of information that's given you. So then like we have general, right? So organic, and then paid, traffic, purchase. All right, so last click again. Okay, so that's basically like kind of like in a nutshell like what this type of report is doing for you. But then we have the opposite right here. We have meta as a first click, and then we have organic as a last click, then purchase. Okay, but by and large, and we can expand that date range out to like 3 months, boom. But by and large, it looks like last click is responsible for the paid advertising, and first click is like responsible for them getting the foot in the door. It looks like, just based off of the reporting here, right? Yeah, actually it looks like a lot of the time, meta is the last click. Boom, boom. but not always, you know. So what this does is, like, if you see like meta as like the last source more often than not, then use last click attribution. Or if you see, like, as an example, if I click here, so email, right? Paid advertising, YouTube organic purchase, that right there, I mean, you may consider even using scientific and looking at like a different attribution. So if you select scientific and you click on like 10 days, right, then if they purchase within 10 days of seeing the first source, HYROS will attribute the sale to the first source. If they purchase after 10 days of seeing the first source, HYROS will attribute the sale to the last source. Okay, so that's basically what that's kind of telling you right there. So I hope you enjoy this. Sorry this kind of went a little over, but I'm just trying to give you as much detail as possible on how you guys can use these reports so that you can, you know, scale your business. Let me know if this helps.